The new Chevrolet Bolt EUV with Super Cruise. .360-degree cameras.
We're able to get the AMS to your location, even if you're unable to get them yourself. You've also got the Wi-Fi like we just set up earlier. You have stolen vehicle assistance if somebody steals the
Chevy Bolt EUV 2022. It was pretty hot in the market. Had to wait about 3 months to get it after I had booked it. It's got pretty good rims. The white color looks really great, just like most other white cars. As far as the outside goes, it looks like an EUV, like an SUV. That's what they call it. It's more of a crossover than a full-fledged SUV, but it does a great job on the highway and performance-wise. The features inside are really top-notch. I got the higher-end model with the Super Cruise and all the other internal enhancements, which I will review in a minute. But I just wanted to give you guys a tour of the outside of the car. The passenger side also has the lock-unlock button control for keyless entry. Of course, the key has to be within 1 meter or 3 feet from the car for that to happen. So yeah, pretty cool design. There's the Chevy logo right there. The Bolt EUV. Yeah, as far as the external features go, or the look of the car, the SUV goes, no complaints. It's really trendy. It definitely gets people's heads turning when you're driving or you're parking. So yeah, definitely a fire as far as the look goes for the price that you pay. Right here on the driver's side, left front, you have the charging ports. That's the regular 240 volt level 2 home connector. You can also connect level 1 to it, the only difference being on the charger's end at the wall. This is for the fast DC charging when you're out and about, which generally you won't have at your home. On top, if you notice, they've got good rails for you to tie down things in case you want to do something in the future on your road trips. There's also a good antenna for all your reception of signals. Pretty well designed, like a shark fin. No complaints as far as the look of this car goes. Pretty modern, pretty trendy, and pretty sleek. So I just got a 240 volt outlet connected here for my EV charger. And the cord that came with the Bolt EUV is long enough, I guess about 15 feet. So much so that goes to the end of the drive. And that's my EUV being charged. It takes about $300 to $700 around the time when this video was made to get one of these outlets installed, if you have enough capacity from your mains. So yeah, I spent about $650 to get this outlet installed here, along with the conduit and I also got this hook so I can have the cable all stashed away when it's not being used. And the cable itself is about 10-12 feet long, so you can always have it in your driveway and plenty length to be used anywhere in your garage. Let's talk about a few things that I don't like or I wish had been better in this EUV. The first thing is the button for the release of the trunk is right down here below the whole numbered plate assembly. However, in most cars you would expect it to be under the symbol here, but there is a camera there. So yeah, that was the first thing I had to learn, is to go right under here to have this release button for the trunk. The second thing that I don't like is if you notice, I don't know how clear this is, but this flap actually opens up and you can take it out if you wish to for extra storage. The problem here is that this thing is made of a cheap material. It looks like they could have definitely done a better job at this, but however, once you take this off, this gives you another 6 to 8 inches of storage, which comes in handy on long road trips. The other thing that I don't like about this is this flap on which you use storage on top of the trunk. This again is made of another cheap material, and the problem is it keeps coming off on its own most times when you open the trunk. So I've also not found it very useful, to be honest. If you see how flimsy it is, it's basically cloth. It's not as hard as what we're used to with the other SUVs. So yeah, the trunk release button, the trunk cover here at the back, and this shelf itself are things that I don't like about the EUV, or I wish they could have been better. The fourth thing that I don't like is most updated or current SUVs have a button which basically automatically closes the trunk. Well, here it is still manual. You have to hold this holder here and push it down. So yeah, the trunk could definitely have been updated. Another thing that I don't like about this EUV, or I wish had been better, is the glove compartment. It seems to be very light, made of plastic of course, but it definitely does seem small. It doesn't have a lot of space besides the manual and a few other cables, as you can see here. Also, it's kind of cheap, made of plastic, and the click functionality makes it seem like it's not of the highest quality, pretty much. So yeah, I wish they would have done that better. The other thing, if you notice, in this EUV there's no space to keep your sunglasses, your shades. Generally you'd have something around here or right here, but there's nothing there. The only storage space that you have is under your elbow. There you go. So yeah, missing the place to keep your glasses. The glasses compartment is definitely a big loss, I believe, for someone who drives in the sun quite a bit. Now let's take a look at the display screen here. Pretty standard. You got good options here: audio, phone, energy. You can always hook up wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and then you have your apps and the climate controls. There's also the energy, direction, phone, and home / music buttons there. The one that we use most is of course the charging energy button. There you can see different charging options, your level 1, level 2 settings for your charge. There's also delayed charging in case you want to charge at reduced peak hours to save some money on your electricity bills. And then the energy itself shows how much energy you have, the flow, details of usage since the last charge, and other details. Some of it not very useful, to be honest, but yeah, charging options, and within this delayed charging is pretty much the best option that I found. Helps you save some money and also helps you get your car hooked up in the night before you go to bed, and in the morning it'll be ready by a certain time, and you can always set that time right here. So that is pretty useful. Other than that, there's this home button right here. You can always go back to the home menu. There's a power button. There's an emergency stop light button right there. So yeah, it's a pretty user-friendly screen. I find it very useful when I drive, so pretty straightforward and pretty easy to learn and understand. Here's the wireless charging pad. It's right under the screen, and you also have the sport mode button and the lane assist, as well as the drift off buttons right here. And then there's the gears, well, all the options: parking, reverse, neutral, drive. There's also the parking brakes right here, and then the one pedal driving, which I haven't used much, to be honest. Other than that, you have two cup holders, and then right under the elbow you have a big space for storage, where you can put your sunglasses or cables. Pretty standard. Other than that, this is the controls on the driver's side. You got all your window controls, your exterior mirror controls, and yeah, the lock and lock button as usual. Right, here's one of my first few rides on the Chevy. Only 70 odd miles on it. The driving experience is pretty smooth, just like any other new SUV. I like the driver's display here, pretty big. Pretty user-friendly controls too. I'm about to try the Super Cruise for the second time, so I can get this recorded and show you guys how it's done and how convenient it is. So let's see how that goes. Alright, so I'm on the highway now and I'm about to turn on my Super Cruise. The way to turn this on is pretty easy. You just need to hit the cruise control on button, set your speed by pressing the set minus button, and once it's set, you see right there it says adaptive cruise control on. Now I just hit this button, which is the Super Cruise button, and there you go, my Super Cruise is turned on. The way I know is this green light. It also says that on the dash. And now what it would do is it would maintain the driver's speed as well as the distance from the car in front of you. It also does the lane drifts, like if you notice the lane's not straight and it's curving as per the bend of the lane. So yeah, no foot on the gas pedal, no hand on the wheel, and it's doing its own job, which is perfect. If you need to increase speed, you just have to do the reset plus button, basically scroll up, and I set the speed to 75, following the driver in front of me by this distance. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, pretty user-friendly. The only thing I need to do is focus on straight on the road, because there's a camera right here, if you notice, which is actually seeing that I'm seeing the road. So yeah, you have to keep your eyes on the road. You have to basically not doing anything else. Just keep your eyes on the road. Don't need to touch the steering wheel. Don't need to have the foot on the pedal, on the gas pedal. Yeah, you should be good to go. If you see that car just turned its lane and my car slowed down because it could not maintain the amount of safe distance. So it does all these things on its own. Totally enjoying the self-driven Super Cruise mode on the Chevy Bolt EUV. All I have to do is keep my eyes on the road. There's a camera in the front on the driver's steering wheel. Monitors that. So if you take your eyes away, it starts to blink and gives you a few notifications, a few alerts before it actually turns off totally. That's a driver safety feature which I don't mind, because it keeps everyone on the road safe. But overall, I guess the Super Cruise is a big lifesaver for long road trips or highway driving if you're doing that a lot, which I happen to do. So that's the reason I bought the Super Cruise enabled Chevy Bolt 2022 EUV. And I hope you guys enjoy yours as much as I do mine. Autopilot mode. Chevrolet Bolt's Super Cruise, hands-free driving. It's doing its own turns, maintaining its own speed and distance. Very good. So yeah, Super Cruise is a great addition, and yeah, I'm happy to have it on the Chevy Bolt EUV 2022 that I just purchased, and hope you guys enjoyed this video.